I tested this microphone and it seems to be okay. You may have to listen a little more. Thought we'd have some breakfast together. One of the things that comes natural for me is empathy. Believe it or not, I do have the ability to see all sides of things, or at least, from the views that I'm given, I'm able to see it. Steve Hall introduced me to a book called As a Man Thinketh. And James Allen wrote in there about the cooperation it takes between two parties, or even more parties. But the cooperation it takes for whatever thing that is in place. Let's take a husband and wife. It takes the cooperation of both for it to function well. Their relationship and the production of that household for it to produce well. I'm sure we've all been in relationships that didn't function well, that there wasn't cooperation. And being in those kind of situations where you don't have cooperation, or they don't have your cooperation, that's a form of sabotage. But even with the slave and the slave owner, there's a cooperation between the two of them, whether they like it or not. Same thing with prisoners in prison and the guards. There's a cooperation. I find it funny how I compared a marriage relationship to a slave and a slave owner and prison guards. Isn't that funny? But for me, I find the greatest cooperation in my life is the ability to empathize, the ability of understanding another's malady, another situation. When you do that, there's cooperation. There's unity. Shoot, man. There's even synergy, where both people, both parties are working towards one goal together. And the forces that brings. See, if you have one horse, that's 1 horsepower. If you have 2 horses, that's 100 horsepower. That's the power of cooperation. The Bible says, where 2 or more of you gather, asking anything. But it takes that cooperation. And there's no way you can have cooperation without empathy, without understanding, without being able to see the other side of something. That's God-given. That's a spiritual attribute. When you find that, hold on to it, dear life. When you find that cooperation, doesn't matter if it's in your work relationships or your romantic relationships or your friendships or your, I've seen it so much with Dad and I. So much cooperation between a father and a son, family. Now, if you've got family that are against you, man, the hell that must cause. I hope this microphone works okay. See you later.